You have just finished day 1 and day 2 of surface area. We still have to go through day 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so I'm going to pause here, and this video is going to go over your misconceptions. So some of the common things that you guys are assuming that you can't assume, and some common errors to avoid. And I did 6 of them. And so I'm going to go back through here, and this was your day 1 assignment, and I'm going to point out where each one of them showed up. Okay, number 1, it showed up the first time it showed up on 7 and 8, and it is the problems. So this problem right here and this problem right here look exactly the same, except the keyword lateral surface area. And if you noticed in my notes, and this was why everything was here, is you had to recognize that all of this wasn't needed. For lateral surface area, it's pH S equals pH. So I needed to find the perimeter, and I needed to find the height. Okay, here, find the lateral surface area, pH. So I needed to find when I called this a triangular prism, I had to find the perimeter of the triangle and then the height between the two bases and multiply it together. So be on the lookout, because there are 3 problems. There's lateral surface area, total surface area, and then that will look exactly alike when I ask volume. So you have to pay attention to see what the question is asking. Okay? The next misconception, number 2 of 6. Figures do not have to sit on their bases. So prisms are surrounded by rectangles. So when this is a triangular prism, most of you were good at identifying that this was the base. Okay? So if this is the base, these are the faces. Okay? In here, find the lateral area with the base, and I told you that this was the base, which means this is the other base, and I purposely wanted you to find this as lateral. So if I specify, that's what I'm asking you to do, and this was the sole purpose of this rectangular prism, doesn't have to sit on its base. Now on this one, when I said find the lateral surface area, I didn't specify a base. So I took both answers, 128 or 110, because if you use this as a base, then you wrapped around going left to right. If you use this as a base, you went around that way. Either one was fine with me because I did not specify. Okay. The other thing is, this is, when you name this as a triangular prism, then this is your base. Okay, so some of you should get in the habit of coloring in your base so you know which ones your bases are, and that's misconception 3. Okay, right, number 4, misconception number 4. Right triangular prisms sometimes need for you to calculate the Pythagorean theorem to get a missing side. So if I'm doing pH, if I'm doing P, I need this, this, and this. And I need this side. Because it's a right triangle, I have to do Pythagorean theorem, which would be 4 squared plus 3 squared. And because they're legs, I take the square root, and that is 5. So that's 3 plus 4 plus 5, or you know it as a right triangle triple. On this one, I'm doing the perimeter of a triangle. This is the height of the triangle. If I put a dot here and I'm building a fence around it, it's 13, 15, and 14. This is the H of the area of the triangle. Okay, let's see what else. This one, you would have had to do the Pythagorean theorem to find that length right there to finish up finding your perimeter. Okay. Next thing that I found a common mistake is, and this is always every year, the area of a triangle is 1/2 BH. And here's your base, and here's your height when you are looking at that triangle. This H is here, this H is inside here. Remember, I told you there's multiple H's. Also, you're going to do 1/2 BH, get an answer, and then you're going to double it. Some of you tried to do it quicker and didn't half it, because if you didn't half it, you didn't have to double it, but you made a double mistake. So go ahead and do an area of a base and then area of 2 bases, and all I'm doing is multiplying by 2 to get there. 6 is the same, is what I just touched on, is H. This H is height between 2 faces. So it's 14. This height, but the H here is the height when you color and you are looking at the word triangle. So here, this is the height between the 2 triangles. This is the H you use here. Okay, so if this is the reason I ask you to name it as a triangular prism is I want you to color it in, and while you are doing area of the base, this area in this spot right here, you are not taking your eyeballs off of this right here. Nothing else can distract you because I don't want you to pick up this for the H. Okay? Here, and remember that isosceles triangles there, or acute triangles, their height is perpendicular. So here it's half 6 times 8. Then you get 24, and then you double it. This is the height between the 2 bases. So day 3, at the end of day 2, and now day 3, you're going to have an instruction. You're going to have a figure. You are not going to have all of this, but I need to see how this works. So if you want to still write this out, that's fine. If you want to have a problem and you have P and you have calculations and then you have H and you have a number, because remember the H is the distance between the 2 bases, and then you have a big B, not a little b, and then you have a formula, and then you have numbers substitution in, and then you have 2b, and all you're doing is multiplying that by 2, right? And putting it there. And then finally you have pH plus 2b, and then you have substitution number here, here, plus here, which comes from right here, right? So this drops down to here, and then you have your final answer. This is the minimum. Okay, and in perimeter, I don't want the number. I want that plus that plus that. Number plus number plus number, whatever that is. And then I want the final answer. Okay, I need to see how you calculated perimeter, and then your final perimeter. I need to know your height so I can look up at the figure and check it out. I need to see the formula of your base. So if I have the formula of the base, I can clarify that you know what formula you're supposed to use. Then I need you to substitute your numbers in. I need you to multiply it by 2 to show me that you did 2 bases. I need you to write the entire formula off your formula chart, substitute in for the variables, and then you pick up your calculator and do your final answer. This all has to show up for you to complete shown work. That will help you at 3, 4, 5, and 6 days. If you have any questions, please attend office hours.